Hi, welcome back. This is RPG Coaching. My name is Lori, and I'm here to educate parents in the way of gamepathy. This is the empathical skill of a parent to understand the video games of their beloved children, which they are adore. Last episodes I was talking about game genres. There is a fantasy, sci-fi, and real-time genre. Now this time I'm gonna deep dive into even more by the game types, and I would like to talk about first my very special and the number one favorite of mine game type, which is called RPG. RPG means role playing game, and those game types can be found both in fantasy, in sci fi, and in real time genre. So it's again just a quick overview of role playing game types in different genres of video games. So here we go. Role playing games are inspired mostly by books. For instance, Lord of the Rings. There are lots of Lord of the Rings based games, both online and offline, or if you're talking about Star Wars, the same here. Or now times most favorite and most popular game is called The Witcher, of which also Netflix made a series, starring Henry Cavill. If you haven't watched the series yet, I highly recommend to do it because it's awesome. So, what is the main characteristic of a role-playing game type game? In those games, the player, your teenager or your kiddo, is playing a character, whether the character is pre-made, such as Geralt of Rivia, if you are talking about The Witcher, or he or she can create a character. And that character will act and do things inside that fantasy or sci-fi based world of the game. Now, my favorite is RPG because it contains a lot of conversational elements. And if we are talking about really good role playing games, then it contains not only conversations but also a really big background stories. For instance, every kind of PC game of Wizards of the Coast, Baldur's Gate, or Neverwinter, or those type. Just Google it. So the player creates a character. He can define the starting from the gender, the appearance, till specific skills of the character. Why am I telling you this? Why is so important? Because if your child is playing a role-playing game, then it's even more important for you to understand what kind of character your child is playing and why. And those are the two tips for me to you today, to ask this to your kid, like, what kind of play are you what kind of game are you playing? Sorry for that. Yeah. And it's probably the kiddo will answer first with some negative response or with some no response at all, and then you can ask, is it a role-playing game? And if yes, then you can continue the conversation. Okay, and what kind of character are you playing here? Yeah. And then you will see that the child will start a conversation with you, or continue that conversation, or will continue the conversation later, for instance at the dining table. Yeah. Why am I telling you this? Because it's really, really important for you to understand that you need to make it count. You need to be, present when you're asking these questions. So you don't fake it, because you fake it, yeah, the kid's bullshitometer will detect it, and you are again back at the starting point. Just as I said it also before in many of the videos, yeah, or or any other social media. So if the kiddo is playing some RPG, aka role playing games, then thumbs up for it, because for those kind of games, the kid can benefit a lot. It improves also the conception, the power of conception. It improves tactical and analytical thinking. It improves strategical thinking. It improves imagination of the child. It improves communication, how to interact with other people from different races or genders. Of course, it's all taken in a virtual world, but just think of it nowadays, especially nowadays. Most of the time, we are doing something in the virtual world on the internet. Yeah, so don't blame the kid, just be there and do some active listening. Yeah, so it's really one of my all-time favorites, an evergreen game type RPG games. And if you would like to know more about it, and if you would like to be a bit more specific about it or ask some questions, then feel free do so. Hit the subscribe button, or follow me on other social media platforms like Facebook and also on Instagram. And also follow me on Gamepathy podcast, which is available on any podcast you know channels. And just be there for your kid and ask relevant questions. That's it. I hope it helps, and see you in the next episode. Until then, have an awesome day. Bye.